Hello guys, welcome back. Now today I'm going to be talking about Alex Ovechkin, him skipping the All-Star game, and him getting suspended one game for it. Now Alex Ovechkin has decided to skip the 2019 NHL All-Star game, and with the one-game suspension that the NHL handed out, was it really justified? And of course, who will actually replace him as the Metropolitan Division captain? Now, Mike Vogel, one of the Capitals reporters, reported on Twitter that Alex Ovechkin told the NHL that he voluntarily wanted to skip the 2019 All-Star game. Now, that was because he wanted to take advantage of the full bye week before the All-Star game to recoup and get ready for the second half of the season and also the NHL playoffs. Now, this was certainly not an easy decision for Alex Ovechkin to make. I mean, the guy obviously has been in a lot of All-Star games before. He obviously loves that atmosphere, and he's been there a lot of times before. So, when it comes to the whole personal situation surrounding this, and of course that one-game suspension, I don't think it was an easy decision for him to make, and it was obviously one that he contemplated for quite a while. Now, per the NHL rule, if a player is selected to play in the All-Star game and skips out or doesn't play in that All-Star game, they will get a one-game suspension. And I'm pretty sure that's the line that the NHL crosses when that happens. And with that, it usually is the game after the NHL All-Star game is actually played. So it wouldn't be the next game for the Washington Capitals. It would actually be the February 1st game against the Calgary Flames, in which Ovechkin would be suspended. And going into making this decision, Alex Ovechkin obviously knew that he was going to get suspended if he decided to skip the All-Star game. Of course, he was named the All-Star captain of the Metropolitan Division back like a month ago. And with that, Alex Ovechkin knew that if he skipped the All-Star game, he would get suspended. I'm pretty sure back in 2016, he was also suspended for not attending the All-Star game, so he obviously has some past experience with this. Now, this decision for Alex Ovechkin to skip the All-Star game affects really the whole NHL. With this NHL All-Star game, of course, Ovechkin was named and was voted as the captain of the Metropolitan Division. That was the guy that I voted for as well, so a lot of people obviously want to see him in there, and having Ovechkin skip out and not be in there, yes, it does kind of underestimate or undervalue the All-Star game. It kind of weakens the All-Star game a little bit. There's still some great players out there, but it kind of sucks that he was named the captain and of course won't be able to attend. But honestly, for me personally, I think this is an amazing decision for Alex Ovechkin to make, not just for him currently, but for him in the future and for the Washington Capitals. And for Alex Ovechkin, I think this is a great decision for him to make for his own personal life. Now, when it comes to the amount of time that he'll be able to be away from the game of hockey, the Washington Capitals play their last game before the All-Star break on the 23rd against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then their next game after the All-Star break is against the Calgary Flames on the 1st. That'll be the game that Alex Ovechkin is likely suspended for, but that means that he won't play until really February 3rd, which will be a long time for Alex Ovechkin to rest, get a lot more healthy, and of course spend time with his own family. Now, if you guys didn't know, Alex Ovechkin recently became a father in this past NHL offseason, so he obviously has a family that he, of course, wants to take care of, and that's something that I think this time away from the game will give him. And, of course, this week break, while if he did go, that would mean that he would go to the All-Star game and do all the activities there, but now he gets to take a lot more rest, and, of course, as a 33-year-old, that might be necessary for his performance now and in the future. Athletes will definitely take as much rest as they can get, especially when they get older in their careers. And for Alex Ovechkin, that is no different. I think at age 33, he's still dominating at his class right now. I think he's still leading the NHL in goals. He's still being an absolute beast. But even with that, at age 33, sometimes you need to get a little bit of rest. Sometimes you need to take a little bit of a step back. And for Alex Ovechkin, I think in this All-Star break, it was a perfect opportunity for him to maybe step back, get some rest, and of course, as he says it, get some rest for the second half of the season and get some rest for the playoff season. And for a player that could rival Gretzky's goal record, especially for a player like Alex Ovechkin, it's really important that for the regular season games that he plays, he is ready, he is rested, and he is on time for it. For Alex Ovechkin, I think it is possible for him to beat Gretzky's goal record, but it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of good health, and it's going to take a lot of rest in between games for him to do that. And this All-Star break, while it will be great to see him in the All-Star game, it's also a perfect opportunity for him to get hot again after that All-Star break and, of course, have a great second half. And this move doesn't just help him in the second half, it also helps him, of course, in the playoffs. Now, of course, Ovechkin is a Stanley Cup champion, we do know that now, but Alex Ovechkin and most other players on that Washington Capitals team want to go back-to-back. They want to get a cup once again, and that's no different, I would say, for Alex Ovechkin. He obviously had a great time with the Stanley Cup, and he wants to have it once more, and I feel like this move, skipping out in the All-Star game and getting some rest, will really help not just the Capitals and the aura around that team going into the second half and into the playoffs, and especially with Alex Ovechkin, he'll probably be a lot more rested than he was in years past. And for me, this move also signifies that we now have a lot more of mature Alex Ovechkin. I don't think this move would have been made by a 25-year-old Alex Ovechkin. That kind of Alex Ovechkin would have hands down gone to the All-Star game and partied it up. But now with Alex Ovechkin having a family, being 33 years old, going on the end of his career sort of, at this point, I think it's a good decision for Alex Ovechkin to stay back a little bit, come back and get some rest, and maybe not attend these All-Star games or these events so regularly as he has done in the past. But even with that, sometimes guys need rest, especially in the really the cusp of their careers. They're going to need a lot of that. And with this break for Alex Ovechkin, I feel like it won't just help his personal life, but it'll affect his on-ice play in a good way. And of course, in that second half, I think he's going to play amazingly, as he always does. Now, I also want to touch on the idea of the NHL suspending players for not attending the All-Star game. And I feel like with this situation, the NHL usually just goes a little bit overboard. While they're only suspending them for one game most of the time, for me, I feel like that's just too much. Maybe you fine them a little bit, maybe you fine like $5,000, something that's really non-significant for a lot of these guys. Maybe you do that, but suspending a player a game, I think is just a little bit too much, in my opinion, for a player choosing to skip out on it. And I know the NHL wants to crack down on this stuff because they want to have their best players to the All-Star game, but even then, you gotta realize that your NHL players have the choice to not do so and to not participate, whether it be for personal stuff or just on-ice stuff. Maybe they just don't want to be there. Maybe they just don't want to participate in that. And that's something that the NHL, I think, just takes a little bit too seriously and just kind of degrades the players too much when they decide to skip out on it. And I get the idea that you don't want all the players skipping out on once and boycotting the All-Star game, but I don't think that would necessarily really happen. With the NHL, it's a much more younger league, and a lot more players and a lot more younger players are playing well and getting into these All-Star games, and we're starting to see a lot more of a cycle. With guys like Alex Ovechkin, it would have been, what, like his 9th All-Star game or something crazy? It would have been something absolutely bonkers, and with Alex Ovechkin, he's been in more All-Star games than he can really count, or I could even count. So while I feel like, yes, you don't want the players boycotting and going out all at once, I feel like it would be just fine if you let a couple of players go, because there's so many great players in the NHL right now that I think they could fill these holes. And to me, the whole idea of suspending a player for not attending an All-Star game, I just think it's kind of stupid, to be honest, because I guess you could fine him, I guess you could do something else, but suspending a player for a game or two, or however many it may be, just doesn't strike the greatest light on the NHL, and I just don't think it gives them a very good look, even if they want to have those players in the All-Star game, even if they wanted to attend. I just don't think that, at that point, it would be really worth it. But again, for Alex Ovechkin, I think he'll be fine. The reason why he's not going to the All-Star game is to be home with his family and to rest up. So while he is getting suspended one game, I honestly think that Alex Ovechkin won't be that bothered by it. But of course, now there's the question of who will fill the holes of the Metro Division captaincy. Now, we don't know if Alex Ovechkin will keep the captaincy for the Metro Division. We don't know if they're going to hand it off. But I'm going to assume that the runner-up, the second-place guy in that voting, will get the captaincy. And of course, with the Metro Division, there's been some okay players so far this season. There's been a lot of guys getting some points. But to me, I feel like the guy that got the second most points, and of course, this is just a guess, but the player that I think will be the Metro Division captain in this All-Star game, I think it will be Sidney Crosby, and I think that's who ended up getting second place in the voting. Now, of course, Alex Ovechkin was #1 in the fan vote when it came to the Metropolitan players to get the captaincy in the All-Star game, but I feel like Sidney Crosby was either #3 or #2. I felt like he was really close to Alex Ovechkin, and while Alex Ovechkin got that #1, I feel like Sidney Crosby will be the runner-up. But again, surrounding this whole situation, I just can't help but feel that it was a great decision for Alex Ovechkin to make. I feel like stepping back from the game of hockey for a little while, having that complete bye week basically for him now, and being able to get away from the game of hockey and rest up, I feel like will really help him. And while he will be suspended for that one game, I do hope that it will be worth it for him to get back away from the game and, of course, to return as good as ever. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So let me know, again, your thoughts on Alex Ovechkin skipping the All-Star game. What do you think of the NHL handing out a one-game suspension on him now? And of course, who do you think will replace him as the Metro Division captain? But if you guys want some more Grab videos, you can watch this video where I talk about the Dallas Stars hosting the 2020 Winter Classic. But that is going for you guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on this whole Alex Ovechkin situation, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.